Hey y'all, it's Lindsay the Fiber Seed, and it is WIP Wednesday where I share what I've been working on, which are a couple things. Let me tell you, I have a lot of things to show you, but also I have a lot of things I've started dreaming up, which is dangerous. But first up, what have I been working on? Well, last week, Candy Hearts came out. So this is the February color, not February color. It's in February. This is our Valentine's colorway. Stumbled through that. Anyway, this is what it looks like knit up, but I wanted to make a project out of it. So I grabbed some Viva Magenta and I paired it with it to do the 22 Cowl by Casapinka. And it's a lot of fun. You basically have small pattern repeats, so it's easy to remember. And then basically you do that a couple times and then you change it up. So it's not monotonous at all. And it's a lot of fun. And this is how far I've gotten. Da-da-da-da. So, I love it. It's actually so close because it's the repetition, but not being monotonous. It's good TV knitting. You just kind of like, look, there's where I'm at, and you go. So, this is Viva Magenta, and then you've got your Candy Hearts. And as you can see, the speckles don't take away from it. It looks actually very nice. So, that's how far I'm on the cowl. I think there's 8 sections, and I'm almost into section 3. Although there's a section 3.5, which I find funny. But yeah, I'm about into section 3. So it's going to be a massive cowl that's going to be all snuggly, and I can't wait to do it. So that is what that looks like in there. If you're wondering what the hanks look like, they're caked up and they look like this. So I paired those together. Viva Magenta, Candy Hearts. This is Sprout Sock. And it's done on like a size 6 needle, 6 needle. Part of it's using a 7 needle, but so it's going by pretty quickly, and it's a lot of fun. So that's that. And I have this in the shop, and I have it in just more than just sock. So if you want to do it in DK or worsted, anything, it's there for you. That's how it looks. So it's bright, but it's not like bright, but it's bright. It's got some life to it. There we go. Anyway, so that's that. And then I started working on my Tuula Sweater by Knit Sisu. It's a pattern that just released. It's a raglan. It has some eyelet sleeves. And I, without losing some stitches, I'm using Peach Fuzz, which never shows upright on videos. It's peach. It's different shades of peach. Anyway, I'm using Peach Fuzz and Sprout DK. And I'm making the size 2. Here's a knitted swatch. That's the wrong way. Knitted swatch. And basically, I have just started into my yoke. So I'm starting to do the eyelets and my increases. Pattern's really well written. There's a lot of stitch markers on here. There's some Fangirl Fiber stitch markers. And then some Ann Tudor stitch markers. A bunch of different ones. So, hold on. This one's cute. All right. And that one. And a bunch of other ones. Anyway, so that's how far I am on that so far. But, I mean, that worked up pretty quickly. So, I'm looking forward to it. I do like this. It's seemingly, there's no seam to it. But it looks like the line will be down the back. Your beginning round. So, if you're wondering how that worked up, that's how that works up. So, I'm working on that. And have it in my Allegheny Fiber Arts mushroom bag. Isn't it so pretty and bright? And then I have a Sexy Knitter pin that says Yarn Squisher on it, and it's knitted in a heart. Haha, there we go. Anyway, so that is something else I've been working on. And then I have another WIP because why not? This one is for my nephew. I put it in this bag, and I have a Camp Stitchwood pin on here and a Chinny Peas Corner yarn chicken because I knowingly started this with a possibility of not having enough, so I shortened the strings. We're calling them strings. That's not the word for it. But anyway, I'm making a beloved bonnet by Tincanknits using Sprout DK. This is my umpteenth. I don't know how many I've made now. I've lost count. But Anyway, they are, you can make them from newborn to adult. And I'm making a child size. So that's basically like the last size until you get to just the adult size. But head circumference wise, it's not that big of a jump. But anyway, I am almost to the halfway point. So I'm using Sea Monster's Tail, which is one of Reese's Rainbow Soup colorways. It's pretty. And I'm also using these Vicks Knits stoppers. So they don't lose them. Because I might be on the end of a round row now. Row because it's flat, not round because it's not in the round. I'm using circular needles, so. Oh, and the orchestra drums. Anyway, I stopped in the middle of the row like 5 times on this, and these were helpful that I didn't lose it because it was one of those, oh, quick, stash it in the bag because it was my, on-the-go knitting because I've knit this so many times. You look at the instructions, you're like, oh yeah, I remember, and then you just go. So that's how far I am on that. I'll probably be done with this by next week, I think, because I'm almost to the point of stopping and then starting to decrease, which means there's less stitches and it goes faster. So there is that. And then let's talk about this. So Camp Stitchwood brings me to a point of thought. Okay, so she came out with a knitting planner of sorts, like to track yourself through the year. Super cute. If you don't have one, you think you're that kind of person, I'd go check it out, Camp Stitchwood, for that planner. Anyway, point of the story. This year, I'm making goals, not resolutions, because I feel like that word's just like a throwaway. It means something, but it has lost its oomph. But goals where you can like tangibly like do it, right? And I am going to get through, I know high expectations, right? I'm going to get through my WIPs that are in bags. Okay, not stuff that I have put with pattern. That's not a WIP, it hasn't been started yet. But like things that I am actually currently in. So one of them is this Pebbles and Pathways sock. It's a pattern by Marceline Smith, Hey Brownberry. And let me see if you can, there are cables here and there's some texture, pearl texturing here, and then it's stuck on it. It's a toe-up sock, and I'm doing it on 9-inch circulars, which they're new to me. So I got used to them, but a toe-up sock I have found mentally gets me. I don't know why. But also sock knitting mentally got me before, so maybe I could just throw that one off this year. But anyway, so as you can see, I mean, I've got a sizable foot, but I did not pay any attention apparently to that when I knit this. So when I got around the heel, I'm like, let me try it on. And I'm like, what did I do? Anyway, I tried it on Jordan and it fits him and he likes this. So I'm going to knit him a pair of socks because he doesn't have a pair of hand knit socks out of our yarn, because the last time I knit him a pair of socks, they were gray and I hated it. And it was a long time ago. So these are his. These have been on the needles for a few years. I'm not saying how many. But anyway, you might be going, ooh, pretty colorway, right? Yes. This is Interstellar. It's been in the vault for as long. Not because of the socks, but because, when you've been dyeing yarn for as long as I have, there are a lot of colors and you can't dye all of them all at once. So you put some of them in the vault. We put ours in the seed vault. Anyway, but I brought it back out. Okay, so this Friday, I am going to have Interstellar back in the shop. And I kind of zhuzhed it a little bit, but here it is in sock weight. So it's got some rich fun, but I called it Interstellar because I loved the changing and undulation of the dark colors, but then there's those little pops of light like stars. So this is sock weight. This is DK weight. And then this is the worsted weight. Oh, I'm losing it. Anyway, so that is it. I've got it in sweater quantities. If you're wondering, does it actually look good in sweaters? It does. Oh my goodness. I have things to share. So check me out on social media because I'll be sharing people's projects they have made in the past. And there's some stellar, I did not do that on purpose. There's some stellar sweaters. Anyway, so I have my socks. and I will be finishing those. The thing to a goal is if you put an actual date to it and you make small movements towards that goal that you mark down, it's easier to reach that goal. So I'm going to try and get this sock done by the end of February. I'm not gonna be able, like, I'll finish it by January. I've got all this other stuff. So clearly that's like pie in the sky, especially with me in sock yarn socks. I mean, come on. But anyway, I am going to do that, and I'm going to put it down in my planner where I thought of this when I made it, and I put a knitting projects thing in the front of it. And then I have goals and stuff that I made a little section so that I can track this stuff. Now I just got to use it. So anyway, until I start doing that, it's just words. But let's talk about yarn. This is in the shop Friday at noon Eastern, okay? It's lovely. You won't regret it. Anyway, that is that announcement. And now I have to go dye a lot of yarn so I can stock the web shop for you. So until next time though, happy crafting.